2024. The Bad Blood is back in the world of wrestling. And it's your boy Icon with a WWE Wrestling Premium Live Event review for you. Let's talk about the wrestling and a little Bad Blood. Good show. Very good show. It was a short show because Triple H only had the traditional 5 matches that he likes to do. We didn't get a pre-show match, unfortunately, but at least this time the pre-show was only an hour. Whereas like before, he was giving us 2-hour pre-shows with like no matches. So now, a lot of things did happen. Some questionable things happened, but let's get started and talk about the wrestling. So now the show actually started with the big 3. Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair, they were talking, introducing themselves to the crowd. They were addressing the audience, saying, like, welcome to Bad Blood 2024. And throughout the entire night, they had a skybox where they were watching the show with all of, like, the celebrities that were there. Because they were in Atlanta, and Atlanta is, like, a big wrestling country, or at least it always was back in the day, in the territory days, they had a lot of old wrestlers show up. Like, Booker T was there, Jacqueline was there, Lillian Garcia was there, Scott Steiner was there, DDP was there, Mickey James was there. There were a lot of people there sitting in the front row. And there was one special person who was sitting in the front row, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a few. So now, the first match, which, shame on them for this. The first match was the Hell in the Cell match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And I was 100% against that because the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, it's basically been like the feud of the year. It's been the biggest feud of the year. So now that we're going into this, like, this is going to be the end of the feud. And because it's the end of the feud, and because you basically advertised the Hell in the Cell match, which is going to end the feud and, like, put this whole thing to rest once and for all, because they've been beefing since Survivor Series. How does this not close the show? Like, how does this match not end the show? Like, but Roman Reigns is back. I'm pretty sure a lot of politicking was involved. And then, well, again, other things happened at the end of the match. So it's like, it made sense in the end, but it's like, no, you should have ended with Hell in the Cell. But if you're not going to end with Hell in the Cell, then the best thing that you can do is start with Hell in the Cell. Because after the two of them have a Hell in the Cell match, it's like, now you look at everybody else and you're just like, okay, you got to follow this. And, they came out, like, Punk came out, Drew came out. Punk looks big as hell. Punk looking brolic these days, but, the match, it wasn't your typical, like, Hell in the Cell match that you're used to seeing, like, as of late. They actually used a toolbox. Like, they brought in a toolbox, and they were using, like, wrenches and screwdrivers and things. Both men made each other bleed. There was even a moment where the blood between the two of them got so bad, the referee had to bring towels into the ring and wipe the blood from their faces for them because they couldn't see. But then, in the end, to call it, to put a cap on this feud, CM Punk, he hit that GTS on Drew McIntyre. CM Punk got the 1-2-3 victory. And although out of the 3 matches the two of them had, Drew McIntyre got the biggest win on the biggest stage because he beat him at SummerSlam, which is a big pay-per-view. CM Punk beat him in, I believe it was in Berlin. He beat him in Berlin, and then he beat him here tonight at Bad Blood. So Punk wins the feud 2-1, although he didn't look like the winner afterwards because when the match was over, Punk passed out on the floor. And if the two of them were just selling it because they were in Hell in the Cell, like, kudos to them, for basically, like, keeping the realism involved. Because if they talk about, like, Hell in the Cell, it's the most brutal match, like, it's the most craziest thing, like, you'll never be the same again, he should be limping out of the cage. He should be passing out on the floor. He should have an oxygen tank, like, strapped to his... When they did the oxygen tank, I legitimately started laughing. I hope he's legitimately okay. Like, I hope he honestly didn't need the oxygen tank. But when I saw the oxygen tank, I started clapping. I was like, yo, kudos to them for taking this thing all the way and, like, for selling these injuries and everything. And then after that, after CM Punk, tried to, like, carry himself to the back, then the same medical personnel, they went over to Drew McIntyre and they tried to give Drew McIntyre, like, the oxygen as well. So, which is good. I don't want to see either one of them on Raw on Monday. Like, neither one of them should be on Raw on Monday. However, I do feel like, and I think I said this before in the last pay-per-view, because these two have been feuding basically for a year now, because again, Survivor Series, we're in October, Survivor Series is next month, because the two of them have been feuding for a year now, and it's been so personal, and it's been so, like, gut-wrenching, and it's been so blood-filled, and it's been, like, this whole crazy thing. When Monday comes, Adam Pearce needs to make an announcement that between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, one of them has to go to SmackDown. Because if you're Adam Pearce, I'm like, I cannot have the two, like, this thing is over. The feud is over. The beef is over. I cannot have the two of you in the same building, in the same arena anymore, because if you pass each other in the hallway, it's going to turn into some shit. One of them needs to go to SmackDown. And obviously it should be Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre lost the feud, so he should be the one to go. Because I like sending Drew McIntyre to SmackDown, because now he can feud with Cody Rhodes, and I like a Drew McIntyre-Cody Rhodes feud. And then Punk, he can, go on to face Gunther later, because Sami Zayn ain't gonna beat him on Monday. But but that was it. Good kudos to CM Punk, like he's looking good. And now it's at this point now, I'm looking forward to see him wrestle other people. I like to see him have like regular wrestling matches. And that's another thing, like when the two of them had the match that Drew McIntyre won, it was a regular wrestling match. The two matches that Punk won, they were gimmick matches. So I'd like to see CM Punk actually have a wrestling match now with somebody. But they said we'll see where it goes. But kudos to them. The feud has finally been laid to rest, and the blood has been spilled all over the streets. The second match was, the women's match, the WWE Women's Championship match. Nia Jax versus Bayley. I love Nia Jax's theme song. I do have to say this. And the match started the way it should have started, where Bayley got her ass beat for like the first 10 minutes of this thing. Like it was like running into a brick wall. And then, she started getting some offense and everything. There was a moment where Tiffany Stratton came out because both ladies were down. The referee got crushed. Like there was a moment where Nia Jax fell on the referee. Tiffany came in, and then when she saw that, both parties were down, she kind of thought about like cashing in the Money in the Bank contract. And then as soon as she was about to cash in the Money in the Bank contract, Nia Jax sat up like the Undertaker. She was like, "Bitch, what you doing?" Between this whole thing with Tiffany and Nia, the one thing I like about it is every time Tiffany Stratton thinks about cashing in the Money in the Bank contract, the looks on Nia's face every time she catches her getting ready to cash in always makes me laugh. And then she was just like, "No, Nia, I'm trying to help you and everything." And then when we got back to the action, there was a moment where like the referee, like Bayley was trying to come off the top rope. The referee's back was turned, and then Tiffany Stratton threw the briefcase at Bayley and busted her in the head. Nia hit her with the bonsai drop. She squashed Bayley, and then Nia Jax is the winner, and then she retains the championship. But she didn't celebrate with Tiffany. She basically just got mad and like walked away, because she was like, "This bitch tried to cash in on me." But now, but the whole thing now with Bayley's out of the title picture now, so I'd like to see who's next. Before the match actually started, we went live to the Skybox where the hosts, Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair, they were talking. And then the interviewer, she asked them, she was like, "Oh, who do you guys, what match are you looking forward, for tonight?" And then Jade Cargill said she was looking forward to the Rhea Ripley match. So I guess she's teasing something where she wants to fight Rhea Ripley. But then, Naomi said that she's looking forward to the Bayley match because she said she's rooting for her girl Bayley. And then when they went to Bianca was like, "Yeah, I hope Bayley does okay. Yay." and she did the same thing on SmackDown, because when the three of them were talking on SmackDown, Bayley showed up, and Bianca is not fucking with her. Bianca was just like, she was just like, "Oh, my girls, my people." Bianca was like, like, I don't know if this is going somewhere. I don't know if this is going to lead to something. I don't know if anything's going to come out of this. But if nothing comes out of this, if there's no storyline here, if there's no feud here, I like the realism in the whole thing, because yes, Bianca should not be fucking with Bayley because of everything that Bayley did when she was in Damage Control. Obviously, Jade doesn't feel that way towards Bayley because Jade wasn't around, when this whole thing happened. Naomi wasn't around when this whole thing happened, but Bianca was the one who went through it. So I like the fact that Bianca's still not fucking with her. I like the fact that she's just like, but the way she just does it is just like, it's just funny to me. But I mean, we'll see. Like I said, if this turns into something, like I said, great. If not, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. But as of right now, Nia Jax needs a challenger because there's nobody to fight. And because Bianca and Jade are, the women's tag team champions, the only two people that Nia can fight right now is either Naomi or she could fight Michin, who did beat Chelsea in the dumpster match on SmackDown. So maybe Michin will get the next title shot, which would be cool. But like I said, we'll see. I mean, there's no talk about a women's War Games match. Like, I can't see that happening anytime soon. But like I said, we'll see what happens, and we're moving on to the next one. Third match was Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, regular one-on-one. No men's titles were on the line tonight. Like, only the women's heavyweight titles, like the Raw and SmackDown World WWE Women's title matches were on the line. There were no men's titles on the line tonight. No heavyweight title. I mean, the heavyweight champion was there, but the world champion was there too, but there were no matches. So It was basically just like regular feud matches and women's matches. But yeah, but Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I mean, there's not much you could say about the match. Like, it was a good match by both people. Finn Balor reminded everybody why he's Finn Balor. You know, Damian Priest definitely put up a good fight as well. Obviously, there was interference from the Judgment Day all over this bitch, but in the end, Damian Priest hit the South of Heaven chokeslam. He got the 1-2-3 victory over Finn Balor. And he said in the press conference, they asked Damian Priest, like, now that he's beaten the Judgment Day, you know, he said, what's up next? And then he was like, I don't know. He said, because I don't feel like it's over yet. He said he wants it to be over, but he said, but as long as Rhea's still beefing, he was like, it's not over yet. So, I mean, I don't, and again, he does need to do something else from that. Like, I would like to see him fight Bronson Reed, to be honest. He was talking about getting Gunther for the world title, so maybe he'll come back to Gunther and he'll get a title shot against Gunther, but we'll see. But yeah, good match by Damian Priest. Nice to see Damian Priest get some credible victories under his belt. And we're moving on to the next segment. This was actually the part that kind of annoyed me. Triple H comes out and he brings up the fact that they're doing Crown Jewel next month. So I guess we're getting 2 pay-per-views in November, which is fine. No problem with that. He says that in Crown Jewel, the World Heavyweight Champion and the WWE Champion, for both men and women, they're going to go head-to-head to see, like, who's the best. And he said, although, first of all, if that's the case, you should just do that all across the board. Have the IC champ fight the US champ, have the World Tag Champions fight the WWE Tag Team Champ. Just do that shit all across the board. He said that the winner of the match, he said that although the titles aren't on the line, whoever wins the match will earn the Crown Championship. And he presents this big, ugly championship belt. And he says that the winner is going to obtain this belt and the winner is going to win this championship belt. Why? What's the point? What, like, are they going to carry that belt around for an entire year? Is this a belt that they're going to defend every time they come to Crown Jewel? Which wouldn't make sense, because if they're no longer WWE or World Heavyweight Champion, why would you still be allowed to have the belt? Because the belt is supposed to go to the person who's like the best champion. I don't understand the point of this. So it's like they're gonna have a match, they're gonna win a belt, they're going to take pictures with the belt, and then we're never going to see the belt again for another year. And a year from now, when we come back to this, it's going to be 2 completely different people. It's like, can we just get women's mid-card titles? Like, they're doing a women's speed championship, which Candice LeRae won. They're doing, you know, like, all this extra shit, like a crown champ. Can we just get women's mid-card titles? Nobody can. And this is definitely something that the Saudi government asked for, because I can't see Triple H like actually coming up with this shit on his own. It's not dumb because of the concept. It's dumb because you get nothing for it. It's not even like, oh, for the brand whose champion wins, that person gets like that brand gets the 30th entry in the Royal Rumble, or their champion gets to main event like night 1 of Wrestle. I don't know. There's like no rewards for this, so it's just dumb. But then once he made the announcement, Gunther showed up, because right now the champions are Gunther and Cody Rhodes. So we're definitely getting Gunther versus Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. Right now it's Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan, and I don't think we're getting like Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. One of these women will lose this belt before we get to Crown Jewel, because they're not doing that match at Crown Jewel. But then Herr Gunther shows up. He starts talking to Triple H about how, you know, like he's gonna become a champion, like he became the King of the Ring. And then out of all the all like the legend celebrities that were in attendance, one of the legends that were in attendance, which was very nice to see, because I heard there was beef, you know, between him and Triple H. So it was nice to see the two of them bury the hatchet and show up, was Goldberg. Goldberg was there. He was there with his wife. He was there with his son. His son's looking kind of big now, so maybe his son is training, you know, and everything. But both of them were in the ring, like they were in the audience. And then Gunther had referenced the promo he did to Bret Hart, where he told Bret Hart that he comes in second all time to his favorite wrestler, Goldberg. Then Gunther shows up to tell Goldberg, he's like, yeah, I was lying. He was like, you're a one-trick pony. And then he said, he made a crack. It was something about like, I hope your son, he said your son's in attendance tonight. He said, I hope your son knows that he said, I hope you're a better father. He said, I hope your son knows his dad is a better father than he ever was a wrestler, or something like that. And then Goldberg got mad. He jumped over the railing. He tried to come at Gunther. So now we're going to get Gunther versus Goldberg at some point, which I am totally fine with. I'm totally fine with. They even asked Triple H, like, is Goldberg going to get that one more match? And then he was like, why not? You know, like, if that's what he wants. Sami Zayn showed up because Sami Zayn is like the Legend's defender. Like every time somebody disrespects a legend, here comes Sami Zayn. He came out, he started fighting Gunther. So now the two of them are gonna beef. They're gonna have their match on Monday. Maybe Goldberg will show up on Monday. Like like who knows? But then in the end, Triple H raised Goldberg's hand. Goldberg like saluted the crowd. The crowd started chanting Goldberg. So it was like this whole big thing. It was cool though. Like I was definitely down to see that. And I would like to see, like, if Goldberg faces Gunther, like, yeah, like, definitely give me that one. I would definitely like to see that one. But only time will tell, and we're moving on. Now we have the women's world title, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. And when Damian Priest beat the Judgment Day in his match, I knew Rhea wasn't going to win, but I didn't know how. Everybody kept saying because it's a shark cage match that Dominic Mysterio was going to throw something into the ring from the cage, but they had him suspended to the side of the cage in the aisleway, which makes perfect sense because God forbid if the rope snaps or something, it's going to land in the ring and kill one of these girls. So I like having the cage off to the side. And the whole time he was just trying to get out of it because they said that he was claustrophobic and afraid of heights. At some point, he managed to get the cage door open, which was really stupid because if you're afraid of heights, why would you open the door? Because now you're going to fall out and you're gonna, like that was just dumb. And then there was a point where he was sitting in the cage and I noticed there were chains surrounding and I was like, why are there chains in here? Like that doesn't make sense. And then this idiot falls out of the cage, gets hung upside down like a piñata, and then Rhea Ripley grabs a kendo stick, walks up and starts beating the shit out of him while he's hanging upside down from the bottom of the cage. Earlier in the show, they did, like in the pre-show, there was an interview with Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, and Liv was basically giving the rundown about everything that she did, which is why she doesn't understand why the fans hate her, because she ran down the whole history about how Rhea betrayed her, how Rhea broke her shoulder, how Rhea did this. And then she mentioned when she was like, oh, I was partners with Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea ruined that too. And I was like, oh, it's actually nice for them to bring up the history, bring up Raquel Rodriguez. But that was done on purpose because during the match, Raquel Rodriguez, Hernandez, De La Vega Cruz, like she showed up, she beat up Rhea Ripley from behind, and she helped Liv Morgan retain the world champion, the women's world championship. So I don't know if Raquel's in the Judgment Day now or if she's just doing a solid for an old friend. But yeah, like Liv said, she's smarter than Rhea Ripley. I'm glad that Rhea didn't win the belt because they can still get more juice out of this feud. Like they can still squeeze more life out of this feud. And I do like bringing Raquel into the mix because now Rhea can feud with Raquel before eventually coming back to Liv Morgan. Maybe we get Liv Morgan versus Lyra Valkyria, at some point, but it just puts a break in the feud, and now Rhea has to do something, to earn her way back to the title because, like I said, with Liv and Dom right now with the Judgment Day is doing good things, so I like squeezing more juice out of this lemon, like while we still can. And I'm happy to see Raquel back. I missed Raquel, I'm a fan of Raquel Rodriguez, Hernandez, De La Vega Cruz, like I mess with her, so I'm happy to see her back. Apparently she's on, I guess she's going to be on Raw now. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens. But, Liv, she's still world champion. No complaints there. And they said we're moving on to the final match. And in that final match, it was the tag team match player. It was Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. And God bless Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa because they came out first and they literally had to stand there during a Cody Rhodes marching band and like Roman Reigns violinist orchestra thing. And I'm just like, no, why? It's like you could have just had Solo come out last. And then like, why is Roman Reigns coming out last and Cody's the champion and you're in Cody's hometown? Once I saw that, as soon as I saw that Cody Rhodes came out first and Roman came out last, I said, yeah, Roman's definitely politicked to make sure that their match was the main event. But anyway, it was a good match. Like I said, Roman, he's jacked, he's in shape, because when you're not wrestling, all you can do now is just work out and do movies. And then, like the crowd was into Roman Reigns. Everybody was cheering for Roman Reigns. During the match, when the match broke down, we got a returning Jimmy Uso. The Uso's back. And then I thought he was going to come back totally jacked, but he didn't. And then, he came back, he helped Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns ended up getting the spear and the pin. Roman Reigns was the one who got the pin, and the tag team of Cody and Roman defeated the Bloodline. Then after that, Jimmy Uso came in, and then when Roman saw him, Roman looked surprised. He was just like, wow. He was like, yo, you came back. He was like, you have my back. And then he was like, yeah, you still the OTC Uso no matter what, blah, blah, blah. And then Roman and Jimmy hugged it out, which was nice to see. Roman and Jimmy hugged it out. And then after that, he acknowledged Cody Rhodes, and then the two of them left. when the two of them left, the Bloodline came in and started beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes. And then Jimmy told Roman, he was like, yo, you gave him your word, you would have his back. He was like, yo, I got you. He said, I'm with you. Let's do this. And then Jimmy and Roman both went in and they helped Cody, you know, like beat up the Bloodline. So they helped Cody Rhodes out. After they helped Cody Rhodes out, you know, the three of them were just standing there now and then, like, you know, just acknowledging, like, you know, thanks for the help, thanks for the help. The Bloodline had went into the audience at that point, and then all of a sudden The Rock's music hit. And that came out of nowhere. Like, The Rock's music hit, the crowd went batshit when The Rock's music hit. The Rock comes out, he still has the title, he still has the People's Championship. When I saw the belt, I fell off the couch. The Rock still has the People's Championship. He pointed to Roman, he pointed to Cody, he pointed to Jimmy Uso, and then he did the cutthroat symbol, I guess, which means we're going to find out that The Rock was behind this all along. He's behind Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline, which now makes it, if that is true, that means at War Games, The Rock is probably going to be at War Games. So if we get War Games, it's going to be The Rock with the Bloodline, which is 5 people, versus Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and then, like, who else is going to be on his team? Like, who the other people is going to be on his team? Like, I mean, is Cody Rhodes going to end up being on his team? Are we going to get Cody Rhodes on his team? Are they going to bring Sami Zayn into the fold? But the one person everybody's waiting for that they know has to join the team at some point is going to be Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. And this is how he loses the Intercontinental Championship. Because with Jey on Raw, and with Jey Uso as the Intercontinental Champion, there is no reason for him to get involved with this Bloodline foolishness. This has nothing to do with him. There's no reason for him to do anything. Him and his brother aren't even cool because they fought each other at WrestleMania. He does not need to be involved in any of this foolishness. So, in order for him to get involved, so there's going to be a moment where Roman and Jimmy ask him, they're just like, hey, join our War Games team. And he's going to be like, nah, Oos. He was like, yo, that ain't my fight no more. And he's going to walk away. Then what's going to happen is there's going to be probably at Crown Jewel, there's going to be a pay-per-view where Jey Uso is, or Raw or something, where Jey Uso is defending the Intercontinental Championship, and the Bloodline is going to cost him the Intercontinental Championship. And once the Bloodline costs him the Intercontinental Championship, then he's going to join Roman, he's going to join his brother in the War Games match. So that's how that whole thing's going to go. That's my prediction for how that thing's going to go down. That was how the show ended. The PLE ended with The Rock standing tall. If you smell what he's cooking, and thank you for tuning in. So I like the ending. I like the ending because we're in full War Games mode now, and we're teasing the shit out of it. It's like we're teasing the bejesus out of this War Game stuff, and I'm here for it. Like, I'm definitely here for it. I'm down to see it, and I'm down to share it all with you guys. So definitely check out Monday Night Raw, check out Friday Night SmackDown, check out Tuesday Night NXT, because NXT was banging. You know, like my boy Trick Willie, he got the gold back. I'm looking forward to that. Kalani Jordan, I believe she's defending the she's having a tag match with Bianca and Jade, so definitely check out that as well. I mean, they're still ducking the metaphor, but we'll see. But I said I like where the show is going. I like where the storylines have progressed, and I'm looking forward to the Crown Jewel pay-per-view and then War Games with Survivor Series. So check me out all over social media. Check out my other reviews because I'm doing the Penguin up on my channel. I'm also doing Agatha All Along. We are waiting for the return of Superman and Lois, which starts tomorrow, Monday, 2-hour season premiere, and that Lara Croft Tomb Raider, October 10th. Check me out all over social media. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me those watch time hours. Because till next time, guys, for some more wrestling action in the WWE and everything in between, we're out this.